Hey, Henrietta, what are you reading about?
Oh, you know, Teresa, the immigration.
Oh yeah, I just heard about the Immigration Act of 1924.
That's what I'm reading about right here. I'm specifically reading about the newest provision, the National Origins Act. The president is determining the number of immigrants allowed in per country. Here, look at the quotas. Seems like they're finally starting to limit immigration based on ethnicity.
Starting? This has been going on for years now. History is simply repeating itself.
What? Tell me more!
Hey, what are you reading about this time?
What do you mean this time? Anyways, I was just reading about the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Is it? It's one of the first laws restricting immigrants from coming into the United States. Is that a good thing?
I don't know. Maybe. Think about it. A 10-year ban on Chinese workers in America. That means more opportunities for us and higher pay rates because not everybody will be willing to work for that cheap.
What does that article in your hand talk about exactly? Well, look, let me tell you this right now, but the Chinese, like many other immigrants, came in search of a great opportunity, making them hardworking and dedicating than most of the American workers.
It might seem like history is repeating itself, but I believe in our president, and I think he's doing this for a good reason. Remember the Red Scare in 1919? The U.S. opened their arms to immigrants, and soon radical groups like the American Communist Party were forming. Russian communists were coming into America and spreading their lies to our country. We needed to protect our country and fight back.
Yeah, but how we fought back was by attacking all immigrants, and even that was ineffective and illogical. The emergency quota was instituted in 1921 in order to try to fight back against socialism. However, it did so by only allowing 3% of a certain nationality to enter the US. There were still Russians entering America.
Even if you don't agree with it, you have to admit that the Emergency Quota Act was effective in significantly decreasing the number of immigrants in America.
Okay, but it's still not morally justifiable.
Maybe, but we need to do what we can to protect us Americans from foreigners. Remember Nicolas Sacco and Bartholomew Vanzetti in the trial of 1921? They robbed and murdered. We cannot allow this to happen.
What we shouldn't allow is sentencing two people to their deaths on the basis of absolutely no evidence, other than the fact that they are immigrants. Look, it says it all in here. Boston by Upton Sinclair. A progressive muckraker. This was a mistrial of justice.
Look, I'm done arguing about the past. Let's talk about the future. What about President Coolidge? What do you think about his National Origins Act?
I think it's just an eviler, larger extension of the acts passed in the 19th century, like the Chinese Exclusion Act, the National Origin Act, favors Northern Europeans and instigates dangerous groups like the KKK.
I know what you're talking about, but it wasn't solely the KKK's fault.
Yes, I do agree with you on this. I was just reading a commentary on this earlier today. In it, it states that the actions of the KKK wouldn't have been carried on for so long if it weren't for the existence in the native-born population of a widespread ignorance, provincialism, and prejudice. If it weren't for the unnecessary blame and for the fear of any out of custom, The terrible acts of the KKK, like the lynching of a Jewish man, Leo Frank, on the means of baseless convictions, wouldn't be tolerated.